Why ringgit always so weak versus US dollar and Sing dollar? Even weaker now versus euro and pound sterling than 1 year ago? Every Malaysian's worst nightmare when ringgit got devalued. Purchasing power got crushed like Ocean Gate Titan. You pay higher and more for imported goods like your Australian steak. You sell kidneys to pay for services like your Blackpink or Coldplay concert tickets. Even local goods you eat get more expensive if not for government subsidies, because feedstock such as corn and soybean are actually imported to fatten locally rare chicken you eat. Malaysians' already high cost of living is usually made worse by weak currency. That is your cost push inflation. But do you know Malaysia interest rate OPR is also a major factor in weak ringgit? Interest rate differential between two countries, US and Malaysia in this example, drives cross-border money flows. A country with higher interest rate naturally attracts more foreign money, all other things being equal. Example, when US fixed deposit gives say a 5% per annum versus Malaysia fixed deposit giving 3% per annum, if you're a global investor, you will flock to put your money in US fixed deposit, hence rising the demand for US dollars, making it strong relative to ringgit. This is what happened across the globe as some countries still increase interest rates and some countries took a pause, although US, for example, they have been the most aggressive in 2022. And some countries still cutting interest rate like China because its export businesses slow down while locally Chinese people are not buying stuff as much as they did before COVID. In other words, slow down in the economy. Also, property market is in a downturn. Malaysia economy and ringgit is actually pretty similar to China in this way. China intentionally keep its Reminbi Weak versus USD because it is an export-heavy nation. This makes China goods cheap in the global market. Malaysia also export economy. Do you agree? See the similarity? Don't you understand? It's meant to be weak. If our ringgit is strong, all export businesses in Malaysia, like semiconductor especially, all bankrupt, die gao gao already lo. The outlier here is Japan, who kept its interest rate intentionally low to keep its inflation at 2% after suffering
emotional damage
from severe deflation, making its economy stagnant for decades. How about Malaysia? Well, Malaysia has stopped, I reckon, after the last rate hike because inflation seems to be under control. That is why you see ringgit has depreciated against US dollar, Sing dollar, euro, pound sterling, but not against renminbi, yuan or Japanese yen. Why central banks so buntut gatal want to change interest rate? Can't they just keep it constant? Well, you have to understand the primary reason central bank exists is to set monetary policy. Interest rate is just one of the two besides forex intervention by central bank. They adjust their monetary policy based on economic data like inflation, employment, GDP. The end goal is to keep domestic prices not too high, not too low. Economy is growing, not too slow, not too hot. And last but not least, qualified people got jobs. If not, there will be chaos in the society. So you see, forex exchange rate and interest rate is like Siamese twin. You cannot have a strong ringgit and a low interest rate. It's like against the law of nature. You choose your poison. Strong ringgit plus a high interest rate, which means that it could be cheap for you to travel overseas or buy your foreign goods. But your mortgage repayments will make you cry. In other words, strong currency comes with high cost of living and vice versa. Or you choose weak ringgit and low to moderate interest rate. The other angle to look at the reason why ringgit is weak is this. Politically speaking, very few, if any, government in the world have the guts to hike interest rate too much just for the sake of strengthening its own currency. Because this then causes high cost of borrowings. Why? It is politically unpopular to make the citizens suffer by paying more on their existing loans that result in less money to save or to buy their concert tickets when their income is not growing. Because high value or high income jobs are not created in the country due to lack of foreign money invested inside the country. And with dependency on foreign cheap labor, how can wages and salary grow? Any ruling government needs popular vote to stay in power. Agree? Heck, don't you know, every time central bank hike interest rate, government itself also suffers cause their expenses go up as it needs to pay more interest on its very own government debt. That is why government got no budget allocation to keep more permanent doctors in public service.
Hiya!
So imagine you are the PM, the Prime Minister, in a populist government that needs to win the next general election. What would you do? You take the easy way out. You kick the can down the road. Everything stays as it is. Nothing changed. So you just pass this problem to your successor. Never mind, it's 20 years from now. Never mind, same problem. In the meantime, ringgit continue to be weak lah. Did we forget about Singapore? It is always 3 each ringgit versus 1 Sing dollar because Singapore actually does not play by the rules. Now you hear me right. Singapore does not play by the rules. Why? Because Singapore does not use interest rate system. Instead, its monetary authority of Singapore invented something called the managed flood exchange rate, using this BBC system that keeps Sing dollar forex rate within a policy band based on a basket of currencies, its major trading partners and competitors. But they never reveal who or which countries are included in this basket of major trading partners and competitors. But I'm sure Malaysia surely included lah. Anyway, this is like the infamous 3.8 ringgit versus 1 US dollar currency pair. Like what Tun M did 20 years ago, but it's more sophisticated lah for Singapore. But you got to give it to Singapore because Sing dollar is so strong due to its surplus budget or just a slight deficit. Money flows massively into Singapore in the form of foreign direct investment or even foreign indirect investment as the regional business and financial center. Dave, you know already lah, Taylor Swift Eras Tour in Southeast Asia only stop in Singapore. The bad thing is, like I said, strong currency also come with high cost of living. Explaining to you why cost of living, especially housing, is so expensive in Singapore, and most Singaporeans feel stuck even though Singapore as a country is so rich. Like to hear from you what you agree or disagree with me in this sharing. Subscribe if you have not already. Here's the next video you would love to watch.